Fine and there once was a podcast in the great internet of internets. It was called Fine and Dandy. Muy influential podcast. You have to remember, folks, where there's a podcast, there's a Fine and Dandy.
But so like I was listening to my music, but my phone died, so I went cut to the radio. Literally, the first day was Strange World. I was like, I don't know. I forget what the advertisement was like, but essentially it was for Strange World. I've seen so many advertisements for that movie. Bomb though.
That's good though. I mean, I don't know.
Is it bombed? It's projected to lose $100 million.
Yeah, that's tough, but I mean, not for me. I would say that it's good. I think that a lot of great movies end up not doing well at the box office. Maybe it's because I don't like what's I guess usually called a good film or something, or sophisticated film, or basically I don't usually agree with the critics on the acclaiming of certain films. So, I mean, for me, I'm not too worried about how it did in the box office. It looked like a dope concept, so I'm still excited to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. Has a good lineup. I mean, Dennis Quaid, Gabrielle Union, Lucy Liu, Jake Gyllenhaal,
It's like
Buki Young White.
It's like the idea of like Rotten Tomatoes. It's like it does hold a certain weight to have a good Rotten Tomatoes review or score or whatever, but it's not everything. It's not like not everything that's rated on there is correctly rated in someone else's mind. You know what I mean? That's just a criticism and a review and a rating system that they have. It's like kind of like in sports. It's like, who's the best player in the NFL? It's like, well, we can have that argument all day because all of these guys are fucking extremely talented at different things that they're able to do, type shit.
I mean, yeah, The Room bombed in the box office,
and people love it.
It's a cult classic now.
Yeah.
It's made more. It's made all its money that it was to produce it back, and he's been in profit for a while. But I mean, I can't imagine he used that much money to make the movie, considering.
I mean, I feel like we can look that up. I feel like it's not like a little bit. The Room. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the box office for that was probably
$6 million.
That's how much it costs
To make the
How
movie.
much did they make in the box office? Like less than $1 million.
Oh,
right?
dude, I'm sure the box office was shit, dude. Let's see. So $6 million to make The Room.
And then how much to?
The Room. Make it the box office. Oh, that's not bad.
What was it?
$5 million.
Wait, they made $5 million back at the box office. So that wasn't bad at all. So why have I heard like such bad things about like The Room like being a failure or whatever?
I mean, I guess that was. I mean, technically you lost money. First of all, $5 million for a movie to make is pretty bad.
I'm not trying
He
to
didn't
say
spend a lot of money though, either.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say $1 million is like a little bit amount of money, but I mean in movie terms, it's not that much. I mean, it's probably it could have been worse, is what I'm saying. Like they could have only made like $1 million back and been $5 million in the hole. Instead, they did the flip side.
He ended up earning like $30 million on it. I keep saying $5 million at the box office. Like I get it. It made $5 million at the box office. So yeah, I mean, overall, a 15-year process, he made like $30 million on it. Which isn't bad though.
Yeah, no, definitely not bad at all. I mean,
He lost $1 million, essentially. Which, I mean, if you were already willing to spend...
They lost $1 million, you said?
I mean, on box office, So it's $6 million to produce the movie. Where I'm at, I mean, if he was willing to put that up, then, I mean, I'm sure that $1 million wasn't, like, the craziest loss.
Yeah, I mean, at that level, because he's probably made a lot back on the back end. Like, is that gross? Like in the total amount, or is it that was just box office that 5 million they made?
Now I said like over like the course of like the last 15 years, like around 30 mil.
Holy shit! So
Or
yeah,
so.
I mean, he definitely got his payback for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he didn't make it right off.
For
the-
sure,
He didn't make it right off rip or anything.
No, because I mean, it's movies like that where you can kind of tell it. Like some of the, not to like shit on it, but some of the production was kind of poorly like executed. You can kind of tell it's more of a passion project than it is like a studio film that's being like putting like all this money like driven into it to try to make like this cash grabby box office film. It was more of like a passion project that turned into a cult classic type shit.
It was really like a big kid with a bunch of money who had no idea what he was doing, but just was, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it.
Like Elon Musk with Twitter right now.
Yeah, except I think Elon Musk had more of a plan with what he's doing now than Tommy Wiseau did with that movie.
Maybe.
That script
Who
was
knows?
that script was awful.
Was it?
The whole time they were filming,
Or was
everyone
it
was
beautiful?
wondering. They thought that he had a bigger plan. The funny thing is
That's great.
the funniest thing is none of these people were good actors, and they all thought this guy had a plan for him. This random guy who was casting, and they thought it was gonna be this great movie.
Maybe he did.
Literally, the main character in that movie moved out from wherever he was to go chase his acting dream
Yeah.
to be in that movie.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude. Because he trusted in Tommy so much that he moved away to go chase his dreams. His parents told him,
I mean, I'm
you
sure
probably shouldn't do that, but he did it.
So how does that work whenever I'm sure whenever a movie makes money at the box office, right? Like the people get paid. But like if you're at a deficit, do people still get paid? Like if it only makes 5 million and you spent 6, like who's at the deficit?
I think he paid him daily or something. He paid him. I have to they
You
made
know?
they made that movie the Disaster.
With the Franco Bros.
Yeah, I think it was just James.
I thought they were both in it.
They might both.
Yeah, they are
Disaster
both in it.
Artist.
Yeah.
Let's see, I don't know. Yeah.
James plays Tommy and his brother plays the other part. Pretty sure.
Main character. His brother does play the main character, dude. That character's funny as fuck because the way that they portrayed him made me laugh even more going back to watch the original
I'm not
one.
gonna lie, I still haven't seen The Disaster Artist. I think the first time I tried to watch it, I was like pretty high and I fell asleep.
Yeah, they make fun of. Do you remember in the room where like how the main character was just so aggressive
Yeah.
in every scene for absolutely no reason? It came like, hey,
Yeah, no.
like
I know Sherman.
overplaying the role every time.
Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not. And he's just like pent up angry. He's like, dude, what?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a plot actually. There was a plot. It was.
I mean, it wasn't like plotless. There was just so many plot holes that it just like made the plot seem like Swiss cheese.
the whole thing that is everyone wanted to fuck his girlfriend, and his girlfriend wanted to fuck everyone else.
Right. And he basically lost his mind towards the end a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I did not hit her. I did not.
Then he was exercising by throwing a football to his partner while they jogged in the park.
That's kind of a beautiful moment, though.
It's not a non-beautiful moment. I mean, it's definitely a unique moment. It's not something you see every day.
I felt like that was more, maybe a childhood thing for him. Throwing the football just represented tranquility, peace,
Tranquility.
peace. Like a really
True harmony.
exactly. I think that'd be a good piece. At the beginning or something. Like that's a really good point in the plot. It's like tossing the football, and at the end they have a problem, and then to reconcile their problems, they basically
It's like,
yeah.
where are we going here?
They bring the football out, and they play catch one last time.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be a beautiful movie.
I don't know how tranquil that is.
It's like it's a form of meditation.
Is it? I mean, it could be because you're like getting out of your like mind and into your body a little bit. I guess.
Well, yeah, it's like, running, right? You're still like, you're jogging and you're,
What is it with like a runner's high? You know what I mean? Like I've never been a runner, so I guess I've never experienced runner's high, but I have done a lot of drugs, so I have experienced high. So like what's the comparative measure here?
okay. I don't think that.
All right, scientifically speaking.
I would give it the same probably comparison as to like the high I get when I meditate for an extended period of time. Or just that feeling of coming out of your mind and into your body, and you just feel it's almost like and it's also it has to do with breathing too.
Okay.
Like when you're running, it's also like your breath,
yeah,
which
it's
plays
like a
into
breath
both. You know what I
exercise
mean?
kind of.
Yeah. So like your form of breathing, getting out of your mind into your body, and at some point your body kind of like shifts into a gear of you're not really thinking about it anymore. You're kind of going,
Right.
and then you're like so completely in your body that it's like vibrating is not the right word. You know what I mean? But it's like
Turbulence.
no, that's high. That's getting like high for real. That's taking drugs. That's what that high is. This is more of a calming, not quite turbulence. This one's more of just weightless, I think would be the term.
Okay.
Like you feel
Interesting.
not floating quite, but you feel light.
Right. Got you.
You're like a beam came down and just zapped you for a second, but it's like not like a lot. Like it feels like your body's about to get lifted up into the heavens. You're about except when you're running, your body's in motion, so I'm sure it's a little different.
Yeah, I feel that though. I mean, there is like that also that quality of like doing something like difficult or like pushing your body to its limits can kind of break your mind from going into these like dark patterns and dark paths that it can go to whenever it's still, you know what I mean? Like even if you're not like working out or at the gym or fucking doing anything active, like just like cleaning your house or fucking mowing the lawn or doing something that could be seen as like I guess the word productive can be used in different ways, you know what I mean? Like you could say just doing a job for a company is productive because you're making money, or you could say, like I said, cleaning your house is productive even though it's probably what you should be doing regardless. But like theoretically speaking, it's like there's these things that like productivity can be applied to, and we see it as like a positive thing, but it's probably just things that we kind of just like change our mental towards to say like that's a positive thing, and this is me being productive. It's just kind of things that you should probably be doing anyways.
Yeah, I think that this is the way that we look at it now, adverse to the way that once upon a time. I mean, it was along the way, at some point, it was just something you were supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to keep things clean so you don't die.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to make sure you're clean, or like your fucking area's clean. You don't know what's going to get in. You don't know what you're going to catch.
Right,
People weren't very clean.
And that's what I'm saying is like people, even today, some people aren't clean. Like shit, during the pandemic, people had to be taught how to wash their hands. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is it like at what point did it become like the things that we're supposed to do, like eating right, being clean, doing good work, whatever we're doing, being proud of our work, I guess, taking pride in your work, fucking being a good friend or family member or husband, wife, spouse, whatever it is. Like, when did these things become like productive? You know what I mean? It's pretty much just like the natural way of like being a good person. It's like doing right by yourself, doing right by the people around you, doing the best you can in the things that you do. It's like, when did that become like the word like productive has been used for things that are just kind of what you're supposed to do type shit?
Oh no, I'm guilty of it. You go wash your car, you go
Right.
clean it out, then you clean your house and do the dishes. How was today? It was productive.
Right. I got a lot done. It's like, yeah, you did, but I mean, like,
not really.
How much of that has been stacking up? And like, that's the thing. It's like, if you manage what you're supposed to be doing, like on a daily basis, then you wouldn't have been productive. You would have just been doing like your daily, like, I guess, routines and things like that, and keeping all of your things managed. But because they stack up, it gets overwhelming, and then you feel like you accomplished something.
I think it's I think it's weird because there's one end, where maintaining yourself in life in general, it is a task at a point. You know what I mean? Especially when you work all the time. maintaining your area, maintaining, especially when you have fucking animals, you know.
Or kids, yeah.
Yeah,
or
any of
people.
the above. It's hard to maintain everything and then still, you know, produce at work and produce for your family and all that. But on the second hand, thinking of it as a productive thing, like
Right.
I did something today,
Yeah.
and you don't do shit for the rest. You know, like, you're not really like you're not contributing anything else. Like, I mean, I get it though. At a point, you know, if you're a doctor or some shit and you just
Right.
saved fucking a few lives today, and then you maintain your house, that's fucking. I mean,
Right, but also on the flip side of that, it's like the idea that we fall into, like we kind of lie to ourselves a little bit. Like, say you work a retail job where, I'm not trying to like shit on anybody. I know everybody has their own struggles and shit like that, but I'm just saying, like, if you worked a job where you're folding clothes all day and just like being a cashier, come home, you're like, man, work kicked my ass today. It's like, not the same way that it kicked a construction worker's ass. Let's just be real here. Like, work might have been difficult, but it wasn't difficult work.
No, this is what
like, what did you accomplish today? Is what
I
I'm
think
saying.
most jobs aren't, and that's
Right.
when people
most
work,
jobs aren't.
when people work an 8-hour shift, and like I'd say at most serving is just because you're walking around all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're constantly going around, and you know you're like having to do little mundane shit, which I guess that can be. But even then, like I still have energy most of the time when I come home.
Yeah.
But you know, there's like
But
was
the
that
most draining part about like a service job isn't the work; it's the people.
like when people come home from office jobs and shit, like I'm beat. From what?
right.
The fuck did you do all day?
Fucking dial the phone 150 times. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
dude, I'm exhausted. Just you didn't construction workers that are out there all day.
Right.
I'll give them that. You
That's
know,
what I'm saying. It's
motherfuckers
like,
are outside all day.
we kind of like I mean, I fall victim to it as well. It's like, as a society, we lie to ourselves about like how hard our days are and like what we've accomplished and all the things that we're doing, and how we don't have time for anything else, or we can't add that one more responsibility onto our plate. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? We're not doing the most on most, like, for the most occasions. I mean, I know there are people out here just like out absolutely like changing the world and shit like that. I'm gonna say I'm not a part of that group. I'm not out here fucking doing scientific research and fucking, I don't even know. But what I'm saying is that for the most part, people like lie to themselves and get to that point of saying like, I don't have time for this, or I don't have time for that. I'm working too hard, or I got too much going on. It's like, do you? Or is we just like kind of looking at things from the wrong light?
100%. I'll say this, dude. Perfect example. I have so much free time, in my opinion. I'm always tired, so I end up napping, which is my biggest downfall, and I'll admit that. Sleeping fucks me.
You're a sleeper.
I am, but I mean,
Sleeper cell.
what? I have class, you know, I have class majority of the week, and then on top of that, when I would not have class, I have work. I'm hitting the gym, you know what I mean? Gym, class, and work. I'm doing all that shit, and then still doing the podcast, editing, all that, you know what I mean? And then, I mean, I still have so much time left. I still have so much time to do other stuff. But I get it, you know, you need time to yourself and to do things. And some people, you know, some people just don't want to do anything with their time, and I think that is fair also. But it just gets to a point where people try to act like they're doing shit. Perfect example is you know, when you're at work, specifically a job such as my own, and you're like, hey, can you do this for me real quick? And you see that they're not doing shit, and they're, oh, well, I was in the middle of doing.
Right.
You weren't in the middle of doing shit.
Right.
I was watching you for like 5 minutes, motherfucker.
I was spectating, watching you not do a single thing, and now you're busy as
Oh,
soon as
I
I
got
break your concentration from your text message, you piece of shit.
It's like the person who's like, it doesn't have anything to do. They're like, oh, dude, nah, yeah, I really got to do this thing that day. You don't.
You don't. Or I'm kind of that, like, not that guy, but I'm kind of the guy where it's like, hey, what are you doing Saturday? And I'm like, fuck, how do I answer this? Because if I say nothing, now I might like be privy to have to go to whatever I'm about to be invited to. Or if you need, like, if it's like my mom, like, what are you doing Saturday? I'm like, oh, is this a loaded question? Do you want to hang out, or do you need your lawn mowed? You know what I mean? Like, at that point, I'm just like, all right, fuck. Let me think about how to answer this. I got some things going on, but what's up? You know what I mean? Like,
And I don't know yet. I think I think I might have something planned that day,
I
but
might-
let me
I-
just double check. Why? What's up?
I might not like give you my full availability until I know the task at hand. If it's just like a hangout barbecue situation, oh, I'm free all day. But if it's hey, I need this, I'm like, let me see what's on my schedule here. But yeah, that's just me. I'm a piece of shit. But hell
Nah.
yeah, dude.
I mean, trust me. Everybody. I don't, dude. I see. I feel like I've been talking about this so much recently. It's just insane, dude. Everyone just complains about everything now, dude. Everything. There's
But
a
it's so
complaint
easy to
about
complain.
every little thing, bro, and not do shit about it to
It's so
to, like,
easy to complain.
change that thing. And it's like, what the, dude? Watching people be like, I'm not making any money. Complain about the one day that they come in that week. I'm like, well,
Right.
hey, dude, do you ever think about maybe, I don't know.
After the night before they got $100 tip and they were like flaunting it to everybody, they come in the next day feeling like shit and they don't make any money, and all of a sudden it's everybody's problem. It's like, look, we didn't like you when you were flaunting your money. Now we like you even less because you're acting like you're not making money. Look, I didn't make money last night or tonight, so eat shit.
I'm at a point where sometimes, yeah, I might be in a shit mood. There's only like one person or two I might like really complain to, but that's if someone I fuck with. I'm not gonna be that person who goes around just.
There's different levels of complaints though, I think, in that space. You know what I mean? Like there's the like I just got stiffed, so I need to let this out right now. There's the I'm annoying and I expect the best, but I'm not getting the best. I'm getting slightly treated differently. Or my like pet peeve complaint is the, well, you don't do this to them, so why are you doing this to me? It's like, bro, like, you're new, first and foremost. Don't rock the boat. Like, I get where you're coming from. It's probably not fair, but most things in life aren't. Like, there's going to be situations where there's been relationships built. There's going to be situations where there's been connections built that you're not privy to. You just showed up and thought that because you got through training, everything's supposed to go your way. That's not how life works.
I think people, I mean, even outside of that, taking that to the real world, just because you did one thing, it doesn't make you fucking shit.
Right. And even that, it's like, if you're not willing to like go out of your way to treat people nicely or how they should be treated, what makes you think people are going to go out of their way to treat you any differently than the way you're treating them?
I don't know. I'm definitely at a point where I want to be nicer. I'm actually getting better at it, because there was a point where I was just like, not bitter per se, but just so tired of
I mean,
just
I get that.
every like little thing. I just like, holy shit. Again, dude, shut up.
It's been like it's going to be a weird word to use, but it's been like kind of like a punishing year. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things, connections, people, places, like all the things that have happened this year have just been kind of like very testy. Like, all right, motherfucker, I hope you're paying attention. All right, motherfucker, I hope you can get through this one. All right, motherfucker, I hope you can get back up after I knock your ass down again. You know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of testy ass moments this year.
I say for me, it's been it's been the best or the worst best year of my life. The worst best year in the sense of
Right.
it's been the best. Like, I've been good. I've been taking care of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Things have been like, compared to previous years, been on top of my shit. But also, I've been adding more shit to my plate.
I
So
mean,
now
I wouldn't
I'm-
even call it like adding. I mean, I guess you could call it adding more shit to your plate. It's just more so like, I think you and I both, like, for the most part this year, have tried to pick back up, try to like clean up a lot of the messes we've created, not just socially, but within ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, you going back to school, me trying to find a real job that I can actually like develop something in. Fucking living in this apartment together, you know what I mean? That was a fucking adjustment in itself. It has been an adjustment in itself, from living in the house and you living in your other apartments and stuff like that. But I think there's just been like a adjustment to where we just want to start getting our shit together. I mean, we want to take this podcast more seriously, taking our lives more seriously. I mean, not to the point where like I've always kind of like thought back to something you said a long time ago. It's like, what's the rush? You know what I mean? Like, why are we in a rush to get everything situated? Like, most people don't have everything figured out, and that's true. there's no rush. It's all the pace that you want to set for yourself, and I think this year we set a different pace for
That's
ourselves.
what it is. Yeah, like it's not that like even now it's not that like I'm in such a rush. It's just I'm ready. Like I'm just ready at this point, dude. I'm tired of not being like having my like before you know I'm like it's great. I'm living.
Something my dad told me is like, if you're comfortable with the results that you have, then don't change the formula that you're using. And if you're not comfortable with the results that you have, then maybe there's something that needs to be adjusted. It's up to you to find out what that thing is. And it's up to all of us to find out what that thing is, because we all have things that we can improve on and adjust in our lives to try to live a better life. You know what I mean?
I think that's also kind of I think where a lot of complaining comes from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is that it's a lot of people who want to change the formula but aren't, and they're just upset at life in general.
I feel that too, because it's like it's hard to be the person that is changing the things about themselves that they recognize. It's easy to be the person that's like, fuck that. You know, it's easy to be like, nah, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing. And it's easy to be the alcoholic that realizes he's an alcoholic but continues being an alcoholic. It's hard to go to AA meetings.
Real shit. To take that step every day towards being better in any type of way. And that's where the biggest part is me just, like I said, sleeping has been my, that's the one, once I can figure out the formula,
right,
I just can't get in my bed. I think that's the one thing. But I just get so tired. I get so tired, bro. My body, like, it's making that adjustment. I mean, I just started actually getting up early, maybe 2 months ago?
Maybe, not even.
What was it, August?
Like
into August, September, October. So
on
3 months ago.
On days you have to work early or
school, but
go to school.
That's 5 of the 7 days, or 6 of the 7 days, realistically.
I guess, but you're like waking up at the minute that you need to leave type shit. It's not like you're waking up early.
I'm still having to go adjust my body to getting up early, though.
I get that.
Still getting up like 8:30 in the morning, regardless. Probably for some people, like 8:30.
Right.
But like that's an adjustment for me, man.
It is an adjustment, and I can appreciate that.
My body's not used to it.
But
you know,
it's only been like 2 months.
It's
max.
like waking up that early, then destroying my body at the gym, and then going to work right after. You know, it's like
destroying my mind.
My body's like, I'm not used to this.
Right.
It's like fuck, and my body's still adjusting. It's like that waking up early every day, and then you're tired, but then once you do it for so long, it just becomes your body just has that natural clock where
you're only tired because you went to sleep at the same time that you usually do, expecting to get up earlier and be not tired.
Yeah.
So, if you want to get up earlier, you got to go to sleep a little bit earlier so you can get the same amount of sleep and be rejuvenated with the sleep that you get. I would say the only problem you have is undersleeping and oversleeping. On days off, you oversleep, and on days on, you undersleep. You just you go to sleep late and then wake up early, and then on your days off, you'll go to sleep late and wake up extra late, dumb late.
Yeah. No, so you're right, 100%.
So I don't think it's like the lifestyle change or even the waking up early. It's just the balance. You know what I mean? Just finding that perfect balance between, all right, on my days off, I'm gonna go to sleep at this time, and I'm gonna set an alarm and wake up at this time. Even if I feel like shit, I'll get up, take a shower, and if I want to take a nap after that, then fine, I'll take a nap and get some rest again. But at least let me get a shower and make that decision for myself.
That extra time would give me so much more time to just work on whatever. You know what I mean? At least
and
get my mind right and shit like that.
Yeah, especially on days off, because then you can actually plan out your day and things like that, instead of like, fuck, what time is it?
Yeah, dude, that's how my whole. I was having this conversation with somebody a couple days ago. My whole life right now just feels rushed because I'm fucking time to go.
Right.
Fucking fuck. It's like with everything, and it's almost at a point where I have to utilize every minute. Not utilize every minute, I can have time to rest, but kind of capitalizing on the free time that I do have if I really do want to make the rest of my life something I want it. I want it to actually be, and to actually to be the person that I've been telling myself I want to be, but not doing things to get the results that I actually want to get.
Yeah, and it's difficult because it's like the you are your own worst enemy type thing. You know what I mean? Like, you see probably all of the faults that most people don't see in yourself, the things that people don't pay attention to, and the things that you do hyper focus on, and it's like kind of damaging if you're not willing to do anything about it, because then you just have all these thoughts and all these flowing emotions of who you are and what you could be and what you should be, but not putting any work towards it. It's like you're just hurting yourself at that point. You know what I mean? Not you specifically,
just
but
it's easy to do.
everyone.
I mean, I've read a lot of. I mean, people have given me shit for it too. But I've read a lot of self help books, dude. I've watched a lot of just like motivational videos and stuff. Just because it helps me sometimes, but it's always like what people don't realize. Like, why are you reading that? It's not gonna do anything. I mean, it's the same thing as talking to other people and ask what their daily fucking routine is. It's just more so an in-depth like description of different styles that people do.
My thing with like people that criticize self-help books is like it's just a different perspective of how someone got through maybe not the same thing you're going through, but something similarly difficult to go through, so that you can see how they were able to conceive a path out of their struggles.
Some of those are researchers too. Some of those are actually like psychologists, psychiatrists.
A lot of them do have scientific backing, even if they're not researchers and things like that. And a lot of them do have a lot of citations and things like that, citing researchers and having not just a perspective. It's multiple different perspectives around a certain topic. And they have them for almost every topic, no matter what the self-help you're looking for is.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is what I've basically gotten out of like pretty much majority of everything that I've read is essentially, one, you have to be ready. If you're not ready, I think a lot of reading that is trying to get in the mindset.
Yeah.
When you're honestly, that's kind of what it is. When you're watching those videos and you're reading all that shit, it's you trying to get into the mindset of just doing it. Like, what do I need to do? Trying to figure out a way.
Taking a step in that direction.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out like because some people don't know where to start, and it's fair to try to figure out where to start. And that's a hard part. But, even in every book you read, it's like you can only read so much before you have to just do it,
Right. Well, I mean, that's anything. It's like there's what is information without application? You know what I mean? It's like if you could read every book in the world, but if you don't apply any of that knowledge to anything, if you don't give back any of that knowledge to anybody, if you don't give back your perspective to the world, what did it amount to? Like, great job, you have all this intellect, but if you're not willing to do anything with it, then what was the point?
Yeah, it's just, this is like the, so you have your like 5 a.m. Routine or whatever. I forgot. There's like one book called like 5 a.m. something, but you have a bunch of books, like that are like get up early, or a bunch of books like eat like this. The thing is, everyone's trying to look for the fucking.
There is no answer.
Yeah, there is no answer. There's just, you got to take a bunch of these different things and figure out how that shit applies. But trust me, I was that too when I first started reading those, like 5-6 years ago. Probably really like 7 years ago. Well, yeah, dude. I'm still working on it. Work in progress, am I right? But it's just, it was just constantly looking and trying to understand. Okay, what is the right way? Yeah. But it's whatever is right for you, essentially.
But that's the thing that most people don't, I guess, understand. Like, I can get why people are against their ideology, I guess you could call it, being like scrutinized against, is because it's kind of unfair to scrutinize against these ideologies. People are different. People do have different biological traits and different things that they deal with psychologically and biologically. So like, there is no right diet. There is no right medicine. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. Regardless of the medicine, someone's probably allergic to it. And what do you do for that person? You got to create something else.
You got to figure something else out.
Exactly. So my point is that like, whenever people talk about like, this is the way for you, it was the way for me, and you could be like that too. It's like, well, are you taking into account these people's body types? Are you taking into these people's mental health, their metabolisms, their every factor that led you to be able to get to this point? Are you, now that you're preaching what got you to this point, are you taking into the factors that people differ from you in? Like, because most likely not. And that's where my problem becomes. It's like the scrutiny and all of it is wrong, because I mean, it worked for someone.
It did.
So like,
it did. It's man, there's just so many places I kind of want to go with this. Like, it's just like so many avenues I could really kind of go on. But I guess I'll go in this direction first. It's just weird because it's like we're looking at all these, not everyone, right? We're almost in a day and age where it's, with so much information, we have like no guidance, and we're all looking for guidance somewhere, especially like kids. It's weird because, I think it also has to do with the work hours most people are doing just to survive at this point. You know what I mean? Putting in all these hours. a lot of kids don't have actual guidance, you know?
Yeah.
Or like they do, you know, they're going to have someone who tells them this and that. I mean, but then it's also, what if you want something more out of yourself? You're going to look at these outlets that, and especially media rather than books. People don't really fucking read anymore. I mean, there are still, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of people who do read. There's a lot more, I promise, though, that are not reading. And they're engulfing, like, their not their energy, but they're engulfing their information from, you know.
But I mean, not even to, like,
sources.
speak from a position that I can't speak from, just to speak from my own experience. Like, I remember back in high school, the people that were teaching us, you know what I mean? Like, there was a wall as soon as you walked through the front doors of the high school. There was a wall on the left side that had, like, most of the teachers in the school, and, like, had their name and what college they graduated from.
I remember that.
And stuff like that. So people would be able to see where their teachers went to school from. And these kids would shit on some of the teachers for going to community colleges. Or the flip side, they would shit on the teachers that went to, like, upstanding colleges like Baylor and other things like that. And like, and they ended up working here, dude.
That was me.
Like,
that was me. I'm not gonna lie, that was me.
You can't fucking win. You know what I mean? Like, the people we used to look up to, we used to shit on. And so, like, I can't say that any kids anywhere else had it any better.
I'll still sit on that. I'll die on that hill, bro. You went to Baylor for 4 years to be a high school counselor,
bro. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I
So,
know
like,
they're not getting paid enough yearly to barely cover that fucking.
no, they're not.
Well, first of all, do you know how much tuition is at Baylor?
It's not cheap. Even if you get the, like, scholarship,
Shit's like
and you didn't pay
$30,000 a
anything,
semester.
Even if you got a full scholarship and didn't have to pay anything, the joke lands because you still ended up at Dickinson High School. Not to shit on anyone. Do what you do out there, ladies and gentlemen. But, like,
But where I'm at is you went to expensive ass college to be like
yes,
not even like a therapist or something, like a counselor. I guess, you know, don't get me wrong, there are people who, you know, they really care about the kids and they want to be there for the kids and help the kids. Mostly just making
counselor though.
They're making
like,
schedules. That's
that's what I was gonna say. The school counselors, like, making schedules and, like, trying to set people up with some scholarships and shit like that. Not even that, really. I mean, they help, but they don't do much. I mean, in my opinion, I haven't seen a school counselor that's helped a child ever.
Our counselor was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I saw some people that went in there to actually talk to the counselor, but she was mean, rude as fuck. I didn't even go in there and have really conversation. She was just rude as fuck. Every time I went in, I was like, dude, you think I want to be here? I got to figure this shit out. Like, I just want to, like, please, just help me make my schedule. I don't know why we're being mean here.
Dude.
Cause I'd be like, I don't know, like, what do I need to take? And she'd be like, well, you should know, type shit. And it would just be fucking, fuck you. Yeah, you went to Baylor for 4 years. I'll die on that hill. Fuck you.
But still, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, I mean, we used to, maybe unfairly shit on the people that we were supposed to be looking up to as our teachers and the people providing us education. For the most part, there's only, like, maybe a handful of people we actually gave respect to as our educators. But outside of that, man, I mean, it's like, it's brutal because, I mean, if you don't have a good, what's the word I'm looking for? If you don't have a good, fucking person, I guess just person to look up to, at home or at school or in your, like, after school activities, like, where would you get good guidance from? You know what I mean? Where would you get a good, solid, standing position on how you could, should, or would see life? It's difficult because you have so many, like, hurdles you have to get over. I mean, I think about just, like, therapy in itself. It costs a lot of money to get a few sessions in with a therapist, unless you have good insurance and you're able to put it all like da 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 da. But, like, regardless, it's not cheap. Like, therapists aren't getting paid $5 an hour or anything like that.
No, they gotta make a living too, you know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they need to charge that much to make a living, but my point isn't that. My point is there's a lot of hurdles that so many people have to get over, and money is just the start of it. And there's the access to therapy. I guess BetterHelp and stuff like that might, like, work.
I heard that
for
shit sucks though.
I haven't used it. I haven't heard anyone seen anyone that's used it.
Seen some pretty bad reviews.
But my thing is like, there's accessibility issues. There's monetary issues. There's the comfortability with sharing with a stranger issues. You know what I mean? Just because of some of the, like, backgrounds that people have to go through with, I mean, just just child abuse and things like that. Like, how do you share that with another person?
It's finding the right therapist too.
It's finding.
it's not like the first one you're gonna get every time is probably gonna be. This is the one. You know.
There's so many hurdles to actually getting good guidance and good helps in today's society that it's difficult for a lot of people to really see.
Half of us have no idea.
Yeah.
Half of us have no idea what we're doing. We're just trying to float along and figure shit out.
Exactly.
Or I didn't even really take the time to try to figure shit out. We're just like, this is a good option, I think.
Right.
Right? You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. I mean, it's difficult because it's like there's those pressures, and not just like in high school, but even like in college, or if you didn't go to college or didn't graduate high school, there's always going to be pressures in life that like push you towards certain things, and it's not ever, but it's not usually what a person decides for themselves. It's usually, I think this will be good because I saw this, or because this person's doing well, I'll do that, or because this looks cool, I'll do that. You know what I mean? It's like, how many people are making educated decisions on their life paths, and how many people are just winging it?
It's kind of, I mean, it's weird because it's like everyone, it goes back to the whole easy example. Of course, it seems like, you know, almost like a throwaway, but it's just too easy to not use the example. Andrew Tate, you know what I mean? We can blame him all day long.
Right.
But why? You know, like, why is he such a bit, like, sensation in a way? Why do people get drawn to him? Why do they love him? You know what I mean? Because he's just someone who's loud. You know what I mean? Someone who's fucking waving their hands around there. Look at me.
Right.
I did it. You know what I mean? But like, it's like, that's not the answer for everybody. He did it for whatever was good for him, and his life's working out. Apparently, maybe you don't fucking know.
Right. So just like you're privy to what's behind the camera.
Yeah, it looks like it's working out for him. I mean, we don't know how he got there, what he had to actually go through to get there, what his moves were.
Right. I
mean, listening to him only will take you so far, and it's like you have all these kids actually looking at that and thinking, like perfect example. I've watched a lot of his shit because I'm honestly interested, because once he got the hate, I was like, okay, what did he say to really get that hate? You know, because I didn't really watch him any time before that.
Right.
I was like, I don't, you know, like, if someone gets canceled, I gotta kind of see. I'm like, okay, how big of a piece of shit are they?
What happened here?
Yeah, exactly. So he was on Full Send. They had him on twice, and then on the second one, there's a kid. He's probably our age when I say kid, right? But like younger, you know. And on the first one, you could tell he seemed like the one that everyone kind of making fun of type of guy. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't really like stand up for himself. Kind of can be annoying. Like, fucks around. Like.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't personally hang out with someone like that, but you know, like that one person, like the bro group, that's like kind of like they keep him around, but like no one really takes him serious.
Okay.
You know, the type of person I'm talking about. So the first time around, whatever, they're kind of shitting on him and stuff, like throughout the thing. Even like Tate is and shit. Second time around, dude had like a watch and shit and was like had a cigar ready for Andrew Tate. I was like, that is the most scrub shit. Get it? And then like. They were talking. They had some other dude that was on there that wasn't on the first round, but he was on their second round. And the dude was actually that guy was actually asking some serious questions, like some good ones, and was trying to actually get some depth. While that kid was just like, "Yeah, so what about girl?" Like trying to like, it's like, dude, like come on, like being a little, you know, like this. There's people. It's people like that though, you know, that really don't understand or don't know why these other people are getting the things, and they don't know how to do it for themselves, and they see this person is getting those things, so they're gonna like attach that and like. Oh, I want to be like that person. He was like not an hour late, like 30 minutes late or something, right? And then that kid, I don't remember his name because it's not fucking important. He was like, oh, yeah, I think I saw him earlier. He's just going to be an hour late because he can be, you know, whatever. You know, it's just him, top G type shit or whatever. And the other guy's like, why? Like, what does that prove? While the kid was like, it's a flex. It's just so he can flex. He's like, why? Like, what does he gain out of that? Like, why? Why does he need to do that? He's like, because he can't, like, whatever. He, like, wasn't getting, he's like, I don't, like, he even was like, I don't know, that's too deep for me. Those are the people, you know what I mean? Like, they don't get, like, it's like, I have to flex, you know, you have, like, this is what you have to be in order to get these things. But that's not for everybody. Not everyone wants fast cars and fucking women.
Yeah, also, not every flex is respected. I mean, like, who cares if you're a top G if I don't give a shit about what a top G is?
What's a guy to a what's a king to a god?
I mean, not even
what's a god to a non-believer?
I mean, not even that. Like, it's more so just like.
But facts though, it's like, what are you to whatever? Like, it just doesn't.
What are you to a person that doesn't speak English? Como estás?
But exactly. Like, what is God to someone who doesn't believe in God? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
the shit doesn't exist. It's like, it's not, the shit does not matter.
Right.
Like, if you're talking about God to an atheist, you think they're gonna fucking
Ooh,
give
another bedtime story.
thank you. Like,
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It means nothing to me.
Yeah, like, and I mean, that's it. That's what it becomes, because like that kind of ties back to what I was saying earlier. It's like all these different people like decide to defend their lifestyle choices, and I get where they're coming from, because their lifestyle choices necessarily shouldn't be attacked or scrutinized in the first place. Whatever works for you works for you. But at the same time, it's like you're arguing a mute point. You're arguing to someone who obviously doesn't believe in God, that God exists. Like, say, like, you got your vegan arguments to meat eaters and things like that. You got your left and right. You got your pro-choice and pro-life. You got all these different, like, polarizing, like, topics and things that people decide that I have to be on this side or the other and things like that. It's like, but when you try to talk to each other, you don't even talk to each other. You just argue your point and are mute to the other side's point, because you're just preaching God to a non-believer right now.
At
You know
this
what
point,
I mean?
yeah, it's just funny because we all think that our point of view is the point of view.
Yeah, I mean, not all, but I mean, a lot of
No.
people in a lot of situations have that main character syndrome where you feel as if or the person that's like, this is wrong, I gotta stand up for this person. It's like, you maybe should, but you don't always have to. That's not a requirement. Maybe this person can handle their own business, or doesn't want your help because they see that as an intrusion of their life. That's really good, Jelly. Don't move the camera though.
We're gonna
Jelly, don't move the camera, bud. We got a cat light. You know, like the bat signal. This is the cat signal.
He's up to no good.
Jelly, what are you doing, dude? Oh, he's doing it. He's in the shot. Okay,
he's
out
just
of the
doing
shot.
gymnastics now. He's over here.
He's doing things.
He's a cat.
He's a cat.
Living in the neighborhood.
Gelatin.
Killing it. Yeah, no, all right, but look. It's just, so whenever, for me, it's a bunch of people regurgitating just either what they feel like they need to because other people were saying it, or they're just standing strong on a hill that, you know, maybe like something happened to them in their life, so they feel like they have to stand on that. And don't get me wrong, there's things you should defend and you should stand up for, and there's, you know, there's not necessarily always a right way to do that. But also, I promise you, yelling at someone is never gonna
and see, it's like
resolve
we
any
live
of
in
that.
a day of age where people are just so ready to attack that you literally have to disclaim every single statement that you say with, I know that this doesn't apply to everybody. I know that there's a limitation and that there's an exception to this thing that I'm saying. I understand that this is not what I'm talking. You have to say that about everything that you say, because there's always someone that's like, well, I don't think that you should say that. I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't think that you should say that.
I adjusted my talking to saying that.
And it's dumb as fuck that we can't say what we say and people infer what we mean or ask what we mean by what we say. We now have to quantify everything we say with the disclaimer of what we're trying to say.
Oh, perfect example. I'm telling you, whenever I was out at the bar the other night, me and my friend, important to the story.
Important. It's an important.
This is an important thing to the story when I say this. So it was me and my friend who's black, and then he's telling me a story, and he's talking about like how he used to work with someone who was racist. And then they would say the ER, but he said the word. You know, he said the full word. He said it was with the ER. And then some white dude next to us was like, whoa, dude. Why? Like, I don't know if you should be saying that. He's like, dude, I'm black. Shut the fuck up. I can say it. You shouldn't worry about it. He's like, I'm just saying, I don't know why you would need to say it. He's like, the fuck are you going to do about it? And it was funny because it was fucked. I felt bad. I didn't feel bad because I don't know why the fuck he was tripping. But I also felt bad because it looked like he was about to get his ass beat. But like it was like a two, like he meant well, but also shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
it was two different.
Like what are you defending right now?
Whoa, like what?
Like
what? What are you gonna like? What?
So, and he was just telling a story too. Like he
wasn't even saying it. He was
just
saying
like this dude that I used to work with used to say, and it was like, whoa. whoa. It's like, yeah, it's how I felt too, asshole. But like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who are
Wasn't
you
even in the
defending?
he was talking to
Like,
someone else. He
right.
wasn't even in our conversation, which made it a lot
Like, I'm
funnier.
with you, but I'm not with this, whatever this is.
Honestly, yeah, no. Like it was
Gelatin. In a menace right now, dude.
yeah, you gotta love having
Menace
animals.
time.
Sometimes I put him up, but I just feel bad,
No, I know.
He's by himself.
Not always. I fuck with him most days.
No, I'm saying like when he's locked in
Oh,
the yeah, fucking messing around.
Yeah.
Nah, but everyone just it wants to have something to say and then to stand on, and tying that all back into like what we were talking about, just finding like your own path and trying to really get like figure out what to do instead of like reading books and stuff. All that is good, digesting certain medias and stuff that you think might help is all good, but also at the same time you got to kind of figure out who you are, which that goes just. If you have been through some traumas, you know what I mean? Or maybe you do suffer from, a depression to a degree, or anxiety to a degree, ADHD to a degree. Maybe you have autism. I swear, these days, everyone has something. I fucking, I don't know what it is. Orion. But it just, at this point, it's you got to figure out whatever the case is, and you can't just go around expecting everyone to tailor to whatever you have. You got to kind of work around that and figure out what's going to be best for you. Sometimes you got to cut certain things out of your life. Sometimes you got to add certain things. It's like a recipe, what's going to work best. Okay, maybe my brain doesn't work this way so much. What can I do to kind of work through this and get myself to start moving in this direction that I want to move in?
Right.
It's not going to be easy, and
it's like with anything in life.
it could take time.
It's like with anything in life. Finding a therapist, finding the right medication, finding, the right diet, the right
Support system.
the right friends. I mean, it takes a trial and error basis, just like with anything else. I mean, nobody fucking is born knowing how to be good at sex. It's more of a thing that you figure out over time and experiences, and you find out what's not what you do like and don't like. And
it's also different for everybody too.
it's different for everybody. I mean, everyone has different kinks and different likes and dislikes. People have different experiences and things like that. So you might not have liked this whenever someone else likes that and things like that. And we differ like that, almost purposefully. Like, how boring would life be if we all agreed on everything across the board? Even if we all agreed on one thing across the board, I mean, it would probably still have a polarizing effect on society. You know what I mean?
It would make it pretty boring if we were all the same.
Without the I mean, I don't know. We talked about it before. It's like chaos is the purest form of order. There's no yin without yang.
I mean, chaos is order, though. That's it's just the thing we see as chaos because we try to control everything.
Right, exactly.
But it's a natural order, right?
Putting chaos in a box is what makes it chaos.
It's just like when it was that conversation we were having when people are, try to say that's not natural. Nature produced it.
Right.
At some form it came from a form of nature and evolved into whatever we are now.
Right.
What I mean?
Like, just because it didn't grow out of the ground doesn't make it not unnatural. You know what I mean? The things that put it this way, it's if I think we've talked about it before. It's if all the ingredients were for something were created on this planet by things that were created on this planet. Where does the step of things being natural and unnatural lie? You know what I mean? Where does that threshold exist? If you're a person that's using things that you found on this planet to create something else on this planet, is that thing now unnatural because you created it, even though you're naturally from this planet and you use things that are naturally on this planet to create something new? I mean, I don't know.
Where's the boundary?
Where's the boundary? Where's the threshold?
And that's what I'm saying. So it's the order of life is life living as it is. You know what I mean? That's God.
He's going crazy right now.
Got the zoomies, dude.
Yeah,
Man's
for sure.
But it's just the order of life is life itself living.
Yeah.
It's just being alive and being able to live it.
Meaning of life is to live your life.
I mean, once again, as human beings, we got to have boundaries and, set what we want. And, once again, we're we shouldn't murder people. It's
Right.
not good. you shouldn't hurt other people. It's not good. We've all kind of agreed on that.
See, but that's what I'm saying. It's like we agree on you shouldn't hurt other people or you shouldn't kill people, but then we also have some collective agreement on the death penalty. If you do this, then maybe you should be killed, and maybe we shouldn't hurt you. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. We have these. It's not even like ideals that we all agree on. It's more like contingent ideals, like things that are contingent upon this. Like we all have the idea that if we work, we're going to get paid. But like
You might not.
the things you're getting paid with only has as much, we've already talked about it, the money you're being paid with only has as much value as we put into it. If tomorrow that the value of the dollar goes to zero, you are still going to be paid with, guess what? US dollars, and it's just going to be worth nothing. Like let's just be honest at that point. Like everything that we like all agree upon, like driving a car, everyone drives on the right side of the street unless you're in England and you drive on the left side of the street. So we have these contingent ideals, you know what I mean, like that we all agree upon.
I think that's why we're also split though, because it's all just, but you know,
Right,
or and it's
because there's an exception to every rule, nobody can agree on anything.
and it feels like it's almost at the point where it's like we should all agree with it. No one, it's not gonna.
Right.
It should just be more. You should respect other people and their boundaries.
Right.
I mean, most importantly, I think we should still stick with the don't harm or
I'm good with that. Yeah, no,
that's
I'm
like a
definitely good with
universal
that.
rule
Right.
that other than that though, mostly like it just you're gonna have to
It's
should
like
just let people live.
It's like, what's the boundary of like laws? Like, I understand why some laws exist, but it's more so for control rather than the actual things being necessary to be unlawful.
Exactly.
And it's not like, I guess like what I'm saying is like, it doesn't necessarily have to be the overlord controlling everything. It could just simply be like, well, we gotta make this illegal so that this stops happening. You know what I mean? Like, it could just be simply like a statistical law that's made. It doesn't have to be like a overlord like running their business and making sure their profit margins are right by creating this law. I mean, that happens too, but
Every day.
I'm just saying that there's probably some also like, well, this law this law prevented this amount of like deaths in this area, so it needs to stay in order. The implementation of this state law needs to be federal because it led to this da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'm sure there's reasonings behind all of these things, but that doesn't mean it should apply. Like my thing is federal law should probably not be a huge thing that
Federal law?
Yeah, like
Yeah, at best, states I think we don't put enough into like our cities either, which is weird. Like we
yeah.
don't care. Like it's like president. It's like I feel like your town,
right, like mayor, governor, and things like that. Like that's the thing. Like people, like everybody has a side, left or right, or red or blue. Whenever it comes time to pick a president, which almost has little to no effect on your specific life. I mean, there's always big things. That's good.
Oh no,
That's good. You want to fix that real quick?
yeah.
Jelly got the camera. He got the camera. He got it. He did it. No, we don't have to cut. We don't have to cut out. He's going to put the cat up real quick, and we're going to get the camera back up real quick. Then I'm going to try to remember what I was saying real quick. Real quickly. No, we don't have to cut. We don't have to cut, though. I mean, there's no reason to cut. If you want to cut, you can, but I mean, you could just do it without pressing stop and shit, you know? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I forgot what I was saying.
Talking about right. We're talking about the contingencies, but yeah, no, local government governors,
Right.
Your towns and cities. We don't put enough into that. I mean, it's just the whole thing with Texas too. You know, all the stuff that's been happening within the states. You know, with abortion laws, with our power grid. I mean, Houston. You know, right now with the boiling water.
Yeah, that's fun. But ideally speaking, it's like it also goes back into the thought process of like the people that should be in power, the people that should be leading these cities or states or countries aren't, because like who the fuck wants that responsibility? Like what smart people or qualified people are actually wanting to take the time out of their life to go and make a difference? Most people are willing to just deal with what is going on, throw their vote in, hope it goes their way, and if not, deal with whatever happens regardless.
I don't know. World's an interesting place. I kind of want to think about how to tie this in. So I wanted to bring up. I'm gonna tie this back into also how what we were saying, but I wanted to bring up the fact that online now I see all these different types of things going on, and like I don't know if you've heard of like neurodivergent or neurotypical. Uh, Honestly, I don't know the exact definition, but it's something to do with the brain and how you view things. Like
Mhm.
along with the autism, in that ballpark, and then
Okay.
you have like I said, ADHD, anxiety, all that. It's almost as if everyone has something now. And when I was saying that earlier, it's crazy because it's almost as if everyone uses, like, not saying it's as a scapegoat, but hey, I'm this and that, so you should,
Right.
which is weird because it's, don't get me wrong, whatever like you're going through is important to you. You know what I mean? It is. And maybe the people around you and other people to a degree should have some type of, uh I was gonna say remorse, but that is not the right word at all.
I was gonna. I mean,
Should have some kind of compassion towards you, and like kind of work around it to a degree, but they shouldn't. It shouldn't always be a, hey, this is how I see it. You should do this. It should be, I kind of, or just explain, hey, I don't necessarily see it that way. Or I don't understand it due to
Right.
this. I was just wondering if you could kind of explain that better, or if we could have a discourse to where like we could probably understand each other, because I don't really see it like that because of how
Right.
my brain functions. I
I
mean,
mean-
it's gonna be hard to say that because they're how their brain works,
it's
But
difficult because it's another one of those things where it's like I now have to disclaim everything that I'm ever gonna say because I don't know what specific thing you are dealing with. I mean, whether it's diagnosed or self-diagnosed, like you said, everyone's got something going on, and so how often are you tiptoeing around what you're trying to say so that you're not triggering or being insensitive to someone that's around you because you didn't know that thing that they're dealing with is involved with the thing that you're talking about. And it's like that becomes a situation where it's a slippery slope and I don't hate to I hate to and I don't hate to go down the like tinfoil hat road of saying like it's seems almost like a slippery slope, like a conspiracy theory to get us all to stop communicating because we all are afraid to say what we really want to say. We're all afraid to talk in public settings on topics that are sensitive. We're all afraid to go and speak to a coworker at work about something that has nothing to do with work but could have sensitive material in the story. It's like there's so many things that can get you popped at your job or social setting or fucking even if you're like working on a project with somebody, like it can get completely imploded because someone took something the wrong way or because something was said out of context or because something was just absolutely like heard out of context. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, it goes back. Okay, so I guess man, every time I feel like I have so many thoughts rushing through my head, but it just God, trying to like fucking.
So I
piece
was
it.
just saying that it's
Yeah.
like seems like a way, like a ploy to get us to stop communicating with
Yeah,
one another.
And I was just, I lost my train of thought. Like I had so much like that rushed my head all at once.
I
and
mean, I've had that thought about like a lot of things though, like just not with like obviously not just with COVID and like how we stopped connecting like on a real level with one another. We don't like hug people anymore. It's not natural, like a natural thing to do. It's more seen as like a very intimate thing now, whereas it used to be like, hey man, you need a hug, you know what I mean? Like, and yes, I do actually. It's been a fucking tough day. That doesn't really happen very much often. And some work places will not allow physical contact like that because of COVID that's still going on and things like that. So like there's been like these barriers we as a people have to overcome to be able to connect with one another again. The way we used to, the way we are used to biologically speaking, mentally speaking, like at first I thought it was, a good idea for people to be able to like work from home and get all of their like stuff done where they're at, and then maybe it wouldn't like then you would take the commute out of their life. They would never have to sit in traffic on the way to work again, and they'd have all of their comfort. If you have dogs, you get to take care of your dogs and do your work all at the same time. I thought there was benefits to it, but then there, like you start to see some of the deficits that people get on the social settings that they're in. They don't see as many people. They don't smile at as many people, see as many smiles per day. They don't get to say hello and hear about someone's day or complain to someone about their day. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these social environments that a job can create that are kind of almost more necessary than the actual payment that you're getting for the job. You know what I mean? Like, and for some people at least, like that social and like connection that you're getting with just shitting on your boss at work, you know what I mean, with another coworker at the water cooler can be more important to some people than the money they're actually getting from that job.
That's why, that's kind of how I feel about it. That's why, I love and hate serving. That's one of the reasons. I remember exactly what I was going to say, where I was going. I think groups are good and bad. You know, we have groups, like small groups, like subcultures of groups and stuff, you know.
Cliques.
To help. What?
Like cliques.
Well, yeah, in a sense. I was saying, you know, more, you know, like easiest group to name would be like LGBTQ. But if you were to divvy that up, even, you know, like each group, subgroups of everything, and, you know, people that kind of like, you know, you meet up with those groups, and then it's helps you a little bit, you know. It's kind of like that support and that community, but at the same time, us splitting in all these groups, I think also kind of creates a us versus them type of scenario. In a lot of instances, you know, you don't understand, you know, you wouldn't get it because you're not a part of this group. It's that every group is kind of disenfranchised type of thing we were talking about. Just you don't get it, you wouldn't get it, you don't know this and that, and they're all just on that idea that, you know, that you don't know how they feel, or like you don't know what they're going through, or, you know, they have this type of thing going on and you should have to feel this type of way, and you could get popped because of that. And it's crazy because we are like living in a world now where everyone's just so tense about everything, dude. Just talking about anything, and the sense of compassion. I definitely will say there was a shift. I mean, I've noticed it so much in the everyday world. Like, don't get me wrong, people used to be like, this fucking sucks.
Right.
But everyone...
But at least we're going through it together.
Yeah, a lot of people... I used to have that sense of community. So many, like, places I've worked, or just when I would go out, you know, everyone would bullshit and be like, this shit sucks. Now it's just, this shit sucks. Fuck everything. Everybody, you know what I mean? Some people don't even go out, really, anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, kind of that old, like... When you hear it, it sounds weird, but it's that old head perspective of like, man, this is work. What y'all thought this was games? Like y'all thought y'all came here to clock in and just have fun all day? Like, no, it's supposed to fucking suck. Stop complaining about it. Like we all got the same complaints. We all got some dumbass table giving us some dumbass fucking order that's extra for no reason, and I gotta go do this dumbass shit in the back for this dumbass manager that's doing this dumbass shit and doing this like all this dumbass shit we're all dealing with. But you want to complain and act like you're the only one dealing with anything. It's like, why? Who made this available to you? Like, who made this allowed in your mind? Like, who's in your head? Who here gives a fuck more about what you're experiencing than what they're experiencing? This all sucks. None of it's fun.
It should be we shouldn't just worry about just our individual groups or just our individual selves, and, you know, I get it. You know, some people are gonna understand what you're going through more than others, but there should be a point where we all also come together and help each other regardless, and try to look out for each other regardless. You know, and stick up for people when they need it.
I will say, like Shelby's one of those people that, like, she's been through a fuck ton of shit, but she still, like, knows how to remove herself when she's being talked to. Like, the idea that people don't know how to remove themselves, like, if you're telling me something about your bad day, the immediate thing that I would do as one of these people would be like, damn, I've gone through something like that, and how I did it, it's like, bro, I'm not talking about you, bro. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, how bad my day was, and, like, what I experienced and what I was going through, and you're just making this about you. Like no, like, Shelby's really good at, like, taking herself out of the situation and just, like, trying to understand what's going on with this person's, like, mental, and trying to, like, help them through their own processing. And that's what's really good about a lot of bartenders and servers and things like that, is you pick up on these, like, cues, these social cues when you're talking to someone. You can pick up on the emotions that they're going through, or at least allowing you to see in that conversation. And, I mean, not every bartender and every server is able to do that, but a lot of, like, the good ones, the ones that actually pay attention to things, to people, to emotions, to life, can really dictate that conversation in a different way instead of making it about you and what you would say because this is what you experienced whenever you were going through that. You find out how you can help the other person that's actually experiencing it right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of people have that. Like, I guess you could call it a trait or a skill maybe, but
I'm calling it an empath. I mean, yeah, it's a
Right.
word, whatever. Same thing though.
But I mean, it's just like you don't get a lot of that in most places, not just like in the service industry, but in most places, most people don't have that. Most people have a lot of bad people giving them bad advice on
Exactly.
some topics they know nothing about.
Dude, it's so much. Are people just speaking about things or like I've had to be in so many conversations. I'm like, that's not true.
Right. Yeah.
Like, no. I'm like, no, I know.
And see, you're
I've
better than
been
me.
there.
You're better than me because you won't like argue with someone about it. You'll be like, "That's not true," and then just like walk off. I would be like,
Yes.
"You're wrong as fuck, and here's why."
Dude, yeah. Nah, I'm more like, I'm just like, I can't believe you just said the dumbest shit I've ever
Right.
heard. I'm going to walk away. And don't get me wrong. I'm wrong. I'm the first to be like, yeah, damn, I was wrong. My bad.
Right.
But trust me, there's so many times someone says the dumbest shit. I'm just, how did you even come to that conclusion? Like, who told you that? Where did you get that from?
Where did you learn this information
You
from?
just said you made that up. You 100% just made that up because that is not true. I've had to call that shit out so many times and then be like, oh, it's like, oh yeah, dude. What are we just fucking saying shit out here? And it just it has come to it. Just a lot of people just fucking trying to say shit. Yeah, I don't know. It has made me bitter in a sense. And going back to the thing, it's like empath though. It's weird. I think some people do have a natural like maternal type of thing where they can really feel people and the emotions they're going through. But I'd also say that can be a learned skill. Also, like when you deal with people so much, and it's just like little. It is like mannerisms you pick up and how people react and act, but and kind of like how they move and shit. That shit. I mean, when you're around that shit so much,
Yeah.
it's easy to kind of be like, "What's wrong?"
Right.
Because you can just tell because you're
Right.
around people so much. Like as a server, when you've worked in so many different restaurants, it's not just your coworkers.
Right.
All the people you have to deal with, the guests that come into, so it's, I mean, both things, I think if you're not picking up on anything, you're kind of wasting like what we do in a way. I mean, most people are just there for money. They could care less.
Well,
but
I would also say there's like an additional like advantage to people in the service industry to that note, to be able to achieve that skill, because not just are you dealing with people on like a daily basis and like having to cycle through all these different people that you're dealing with, but additionally to that, you have like all these other people that are developing their empath skills around you as coworkers for you to be able to see their insights and perspectives and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's like you have like almost an added advantage to where even if you aren't someone that's very empathetic to other people, if you're the person that just doesn't give a fuck about their customers, is just like, what do you want? Here you go. Bye, bye, bye. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you are that person, you still have all these different perspectives of people that aren't that person for you to be able to develop, like, damn, like maybe I should be giving a fuck about these people. Maybe my tips would look better. Maybe if I was a little bit harder of a worker and I did pay that much more attention, then I would get more shifts or better sections or like da-da-da-da. Like there's all these different like levels of fucking things that are beneficial and advantageous to a server within the restaurants. Like, but people decide to say like, oh, my section sucks, or my people suck today, or I had a shitty ass day. It's like, well, how was your energy all day? Were you fucking happy-go-lucky, joyful, paying attention to your
Exactly.
section? Were you allowing that table that fucked you over to fuck up all your other tables? Let's be honest with ourselves at this point.
Dude, that happens so much though. It is that. I mean, it's like everybody's kind of where I've geared more towards is it's interesting. It's almost a beautiful thing too. You see all these different people grow around you. You know what I mean? Everyone's going through their own like, troubles or
Right.
different problems that they're trying to tackle, obstacles that trying to overcome. Whatever the case may be, everyone's living a different life. Everyone comes from a different background too, so it's going to be different for everyone that you work around. And honestly, I've come across some beautiful people that I've met in the industry as well that I'm thankful that I have met.
Right.
I mean, some people suck too. I mean, that's life in general.
That's in
But-
the industry.
Yeah, it's just, but you do kind of, when you work around that so much and you listen to all these stories or all these different experiences that these people are having, whether it is the guests, you know, like, I just came in town from so and so, I do this and that, whatever the case may be. I mean, half the time I am tired and I don't really want to listen, but I'm still gonna do it, you know, regardless. It is taxing sometimes too, and it's you do learn something, and I think that's something that a lot of people could really take into account, is understanding that we all are figuring shit out. Like, none of us have. We all think we have the answer. None of us have any answers. We're all just trying to figure it out, go through life, figure out what's best for us, and figuring out how that kind of works in with the things around us. Because as human beings, we're social creatures.
Right.
So, fortunately, we do have to work as a unit. You know what I mean? And
it's like
figuring out how to work best as a unit, but we have no idea, and we're actually going backwards, I think, instead of forward at this point.
I mean, it's kind of like the moment that you realize, like, your parents are people too. You know what I mean? Like, you grow up thinking that the people that are raising you are superheroes that know how to do everything, that they have the answers to every question and problem, and anything that could come up, they'll be able to solve it because they're your superheroes. But you realize that they're just people too that are trying to figure things out. Whenever you have a problem that you are going through as a child, you bring it to them and they do their best to solve it, and they're not always successful. And I feel like that's like a detriment to like what makes people think that they're bad parents, because they're not always successful in solving problems that their children bring up or that their children cause. But I mean, that's part of the game, you know what I mean? Like, nobody really knows what they're doing. There's no real book to parenting, even though there's 150 different books to parenting, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, it's kind of like a self-help book. It's like, it's not gonna be a one size fits all. It's not gonna be a true like rule book and guides to procedure. It's not like a fucking baking a turkey on Thanksgiving. You can't follow a recipe and just hope it works out. You have to do this trial and error, and with raising a child and going through the parenting steps and things like that.
I understand forgiving your parents is hard too. Like, I guess it's different for everyone. There's some parents probably like, nah, you know, like my parents fucked up a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and say they were like the best. Like, they weren't terrible parents. Like, I'm not gonna say they're perfect. You know, they fucked up a lot. But what I will say is that, you know, they took care of me. They loved me. They made sure I was okay. They had shelter. They food. Like, they were never like so harsh. You know what I mean? They let me grow as a person too. Which, I mean, I understand a lot of people don't get that either. It's just like, it's my way or the highway. Type shit. Which, you know, that's most.
That's a lot of people's parents. Yeah. For sure.
And I mean, that's kind of why it's like, I got, you know, also probably why obedience is a big thing, because, you know, just my way or the highway. You just gotta deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like once we as a society get out of this obedience training as like a childhood education lifestyle, then I think we're gonna be a lot better off. There's no real like. In my opinion, I feel like obedience shouldn't be something that's taught through fear. It should be something that's taught through education and example.
It shouldn't be mistaken with discipline either.
Exactly.
Like, discipline and obedience are not the same thing.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're teaching obedience through discipline, then you're not teaching obedience. You know what I mean? You're teaching, what's the word? It's not submissiveness. It's something else. But like, you're not teaching these people to like obey what they should be doing. You're teaching them to obey what you want them to do. And who said that you knew best? I mean, your parents know best. It's like, fucking no, they don't. Fuck no, they don't. They try to know the best. They try to take everything into account with what's going on in our lives and try to formulate a solution to whatever we could do to fix the problem. But that is not always the best solution. That is just the best they could come up with. Let's just be honest here. And I'm not trying to take away from any parents out there doing their best. I'm just saying it's not always going to be the right solution. So like, taking that power out of the situation might be ideal, because people can use that power to be like, my way or the highway. It's like, well, sorry, sir, but looks like your way didn't work out that well. So I just wanted us to all be honest with ourselves here.
I think for so long too, as a society, we've been so accustomed to that way too, of just understanding like, okay, if I just do all these things, there will be some kind of outcome that'll be beneficial. The fact of the matter is, a lot of us are like, that's not fucking true at all. Everything is kind of just fucked, and like, in the way like there's no right answer. It's just there is no really right way to do anything, and that kind of has crumbled a lot. I think a lot of people's perception of what reality is, and I mean, rebuilding from there is, at this point, looks really, really tough and really hard. But
it's kind of like, I mean, not to completely just piss all over the analogy, but like the king to a god thing, it's like how many people's ideals of religion and shit like that like have completely changed over the last 20 years, and how many people's ideals have been strengthened over the last 20 years by all of the things that have happened and things like I don't know. I just feel like there's I still remember like when I was a kid, my dad telling me, he was like, if all these billions of people around the world believe in a god of some sort, like don't you think that there's some power to that? You know what I mean? Like that there's something to that. Like why if there was no God, if there was no like I guess like a God for any of these religions or whatever, if that didn't exist, then would this just be like what would you call this? And like in my head at the time, I wanted to be an asshole and just be like mass hysteria. Ta-da.
Yeah, I mean,
but like I mean, he has a point. It's like if there is like all of these people that do have this belief and they are carried by that belief, then like should there not be at least some power to that? I mean, like, because whenever you have a bunch of people that believe in anything, whether it's a fucking cult or a EDM artist, you know what I mean? Like those things can hold power to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, so that's what I was trying to like get to, is just like how much power is in the world that is just the thing, like the power that we give to it. Like how many things don't have real power within them, and how many things are just the power that we give to them? You know what I mean? Like we see all of these like powerful sources or powerful businesses or powerful things. It's like how much is this shit is like actually powerful, and how much of it is just we believe that it is, so it is.
I mean, I think that is what's the classic Plato saying?
I am so, or I think so, therefore I am. Yeah.
You know, classic. Right.
Know, so like,
I believe it.
Right.
I believe so. It's true.
Right.
Like that's basically it. That's what I believe. So it's true to me.
And so I guess like that's what I'm trying to say is like if you use that thought process, then like how many things can you break down into not actually, whether you're talking about historical events or people or things or like whatever you could really attribute it to, how many things either exist or don't exist just based on the fact that we believe in them or don't believe in them?
I mean, there's whole science behind it.
What if you don't believe in the science and you think that the media is controlled by this? So you know what I mean? Like
flat Earth, baby.
Like it's that simple. People have beliefs and they don't have to be based in almost anything.
I'll say this:
they carry power, don't they?
Yeah, I'll say this: I don't necessarily believe in flat Earth, but I mean to say I'm 100% positive that we're around her, I would also be lying.
Said this new ice wall one is crazy.
Dude, fucking NASA photos, I should believe them. I don't know what the fuck they're doing at NASA. I haven't seen the moon.
You have.
I see it, but you know what I mean? Like I haven't seen it.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's like, see, that's the problem. It's like you want to be able to say there's scientific evidence to be able to prove this, and then you have like some psychedelic experience that makes you think that this is all just like a fucking like in Truman Show experience type shit. You know what I mean? And you're like, well, then how much science can I trust if it's all fucking fabricated by the people running the shit?
That's the thing though. That allegory to the cave is some shit. Like, look at this, and you're like, then you turn around and you're like, oh fuck, we were in a cave the whole time looking at a wall. There's some real shit over here. They're like, and everyone else is like, nah, you're dumb, dude. There's no shit over there, dude. You're lying. Like,
you're an idiot. You're going crazy.
I just saw it. Like, fucking this guy's nut job. Who knows? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
It's happening before our eyes in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? Like people are just being fed certain things so that they're not worried about other things.
We've only known so much. Who knows what really is out there?
Who knows what's known?
Who knows? Who has the answers? All right, we should wrap it up. You got a doctor's appointment. Hey, this has been the Fine and Dandy podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We didn't do a proper intro this time, but it's okay.
We have the Fine and Dandy podcast, and thank you guys for joining.
You want to do it? We can do an intro.
No, thank you guys for joining us. This is the Fine and Dandy podcast, and that's
no. Wait, hold on, wait. Welcome to the Fine and Dandy podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's gonna be a great episode this week. We have a lot in store.
Great episode.
We're so excited for everything.
So excited to start this episode off.
It's gonna be a great episode. It's not. We're not recording this at the end of the episode.
No,
if that's
this
what
is
you think.
being recorded at the beginning of the episode.
This was a regular intro that we're doing into the
You
show.
know,
so
like that. This isn't empty or anything, and that's Doofles right there. But this is the beginning of the episode. Just so you know, this is the beginning of the episode.
All right, now we'll just wrap it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching the
tuning in.
beginning of the episode.
All right, this has been Fine and Danny. It's been great with you guys. Love all of you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of the people around you. Do more things you love, and try to show some compassion and love out there. Be nice to the people around you. The world's a crazy place. You guys take care. We'll catch you next week. Until next time.
Love you guys. Bye.